My name is Dyann. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Monday. Today we'll be discussing cleanses, detox, and refreshes, and are they safe, and is it something that is appropriate for you at this stage of life that you're in. If you are just joining me, my name is Dyann Parham, and I help women figure out food and fitness plans that meet their lifestyle needs so that they can look and feel their best to live their most authentic life. So juices, fasts, detoxes, refreshes, whatever you want to call them, some can be very appropriate depending on where you are in what season of life that you're in, your health concerns, what maybe your health and fitness goals are, and even your mental state of being when you're going into this type of nutritional plan, let's say. So juices or deep kind of detoxes. You can do your research on fruit and vegetable juices and you'll find pros and cons for why you should do it and why you should not. I know for myself personally, juice and like juice cleanses that are just completely juice really is that thing that kind of puts me over the edge. It's very restrictive for me, and I can't really keep up with my life energy wise. So for me, I'm not a big complete juicer. However, there are people out there that get great results for them and it does fit into their life very well. So it's that personal thing that you have to just do your research and see if that's something that you're willing to do. I personally enjoy chewing food and having solid food in my life, and I don't want to do anything that's too long in duration as well. So I tend to stay away from the juicing kind of fast or cleanses just because for me, again, it's just too restrictive for my lifestyle. There are pros and cons to it, so that's a personal choice and again, a mental state that you kind of want to make sure that you're in to make sure that you can handle it. The detoxes, again, can be those things that are very restrictive and can go really deep into cleansing out your organs. So you want to make sure that when you do a detox that you do your research on it and make sure that it's sound fundamentally nutrition-wise, and then you're not going to do more damage to your system than you are good by jumping into a detox. Again, that's that thing that you have to consider where you're starting from and what your mental state is when you're going through it, and making sure that mentally and emotionally you're prepared to do something that's going to be that intensive and possibly restrictive food-wise. So a new craze in the nutrition industry are what we call refreshes. And they're not juices or cleanses in the sense that you eliminate solid food altogether. And they're not a detox in the sense that you have to go super deep into flushing out your system. It's just a quick 2 or 3 day food plan that really does allow you an opportunity to sort of reset yourself, not only nutritionally, but emotionally as well. It can really kind of kickstart you onto your health and fitness journey, or can just reset you emotionally and mentally about food. And that's personally why I like to do refreshes over a detox or a cleanse. It's a really quick process. I can usually do it within a couple of days. And it does sort of mentally bring me back into a place where I'm very conscious about food. And I like to describe when I do a refresh as sort of like an emotional cleanse more than anything. It really does clear my mind, makes me become conscious in where I'm at with food and what I'm doing with food and lifestyle, and can really correct some bad habits that I'm subtly picking up along the way. I do my best to try to make sure that I am eating clean, but every now and then, you kind of fall off track, and as soon as you fall off track, it seems to get harder and harder to get on track. So I like to do what I call a 3-day refresh once a month, and I usually do it around the first of the month. So I have one coming up next week. I'm kind of explain to you some of the benefits of doing something like this, and you can kind of see if it might be something that you might be ready for or might be something that would fit into your lifestyle. So I've got 5 reasons why you should do a light cleanse or a quick couple day refresh. And the first one is you just might not be feeling as good today as you were maybe a couple months ago, and you can't really pinpoint why that is. And I know that happens to me as well. This time of the year especially is really hard with a bunch of, school parties and graduation parties and family events and gearing up even just for the summer and having my kids at home with me. I want to make sure that I'm kind of starting off summer on my best nutritional path possible. So I'm trying to kick all the little bad habits that I've picked up this last month or so, just having celebrations and winding down the school year with my kids. So I like to refresh because it does kind of just make me get to that emotional and physical place of feeling the best that I possibly can when I might be losing track of that. The second reason why I think it's important to do a regularly scheduled refresh is I can get into that plateau period where I kind of like get stuck on a certain feeling for my body or a certain look, or even that last couple pounds that creep on that I can't seem to get rid of. And a quick 3-day refresh will be that thing that will just kind of shed that extra water weight and get sort of that inflammation out of my body, where I'll see the scale drop or I'll see my abs kind of pop back through. And then that psychologically and emotionally does some really good things for me as far as keeping myself on track. We know that emotionally a number on a scale or even just subtle changes in our body from just a little bit of water weight being put on can really be that thing that can kind of slow us down and make us really unmotivated to keep on track with what we know we should be doing. And then the third reason why doing a quick couple day refresh is good is because we can very easily pick up those sugar and carb addictions without even intending to do so. And like I said, this is that time of the year where there's lots of parties and lots of celebrations. I know in our house we have all kinds of great things going on with our kids in school. And so there's that extra incentive and reason to go out and celebrate or have that extra cake or maybe those couple extra dinners out that we weren't really scheduled or weren't really planning to have in our life. And then the next thing you know, you're kind of unconsciously reaching for those sugars, or you're unconsciously craving those carbohydrates, and then you can't kick that habit. So having that refresh or really quick cleanse scheduled on your calendar every month can kind of keep you naturally in that motion of making it just part of your routine. Like you're not going to get too far off the edge because you know you have something on your calendar that you have scheduled that's going to kind of get those addictions and those cravings curbed before you go too far out. And then the fourth reason that I really like doing these quick cleanses and refreshes is the first time I did one, I didn't really realize how bad my body needed it. And I lost 10 pounds I didn't even know I could lose. And it was just that point of my life where we were moving from California to Texas. Things were kind of unscheduled and out of control. And I was kind of falling into those habits of just picking up, those little snacks here and there that just weren't the best choice for my body and the best choice for my lifestyle. And I ended up just kind of building up that inflammation and building up those cravings and those addictions to the carbs and the sugars that I didn't really like to have, but I didn't know how to stop it. So I scheduled in one of these 3-day refreshes, and within that 3 days, I was able to lose that 10 pounds that my body just really didn't want to hold on to, but it also didn't know how to let go of. So if you've never done a cleanse or a refresh, I highly recommend that you get one on your calendar, because it is that thing that will be very shocking to you, what your body's holding on to that it's really not comfortable holding on to, and you'll know it's not comfortable with it because of how quickly and how easy it will be for your body to let it go when you get a plan in place. And then the fifth and final reason, and probably this is the most favorite reason that I like to do a quick refresh or cleanse, is that it gives me a nice vacation from food. Now keep in mind, when I do this refresh, it is solid food that I'm eating, and I'm eating about 6 times a day, but it takes me away from mainstream meal planning and what society expects us to eat or what we think we're supposed to eat with every meal. So the 3-day refresh that I do is a completely vegan plan. It's 3 days. It's a combination of raw fruits and vegetables and 1 meal replacement shake with 2 high protein vegan shakes. So I'm constantly eating throughout my day, and there's really no limitations on what I can eat. I have healthy fats, I have plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, and then I have my 3 shakes. So I'm not starving. I'm getting the satisfaction of eating solid food, which I love to have, and I'm not having to dip so low on my calorie intake that I feel lethargic or sort of energy drained from trying to cleanse my body. Taking that break from food mentally and emotionally is kind of how I envision spiritual cleanses to be, and kind of just taking that time to just really get centered with your life and kind of take the burden of food away and take the hassles of food away and just really kind of be one with yourself and get back in touch to what it means to feel good, and just really kind of take some time to pay yourself back and pay your body back for working so hard and really feeling the process of what it's like to eat clean, good, solid food. The refresh that I do, and I have been doing it for about 2 years now, I always extend an invitation out to my friends when I'm getting ready to do a refresh, because doing a refresh with friends is always so much more fun. When you jump in with us to do a refresh, you get a complete plan. So I will email you my complete 3-day refresh plan, which gives you everything that you can eat with exactly what I eat on my plan. So I put together all the salad recipes that I do. I put together how I schedule my food throughout the day. And then I also give you some insights of what to do with the rest of your family. So I'm going to be cleansing. What's the rest of my family going to do? And I can tell you that my kids actually love it when I do a quick 3-day refresh, because that means they get to eat their Annie's mac and cheese 3 nights a week if they want to, and I don't say a word about it. It empowers them to get into the kitchen because they kind of cook for themselves those 3 days, so that gives me a break as well. So it is a really great time to just sort of jump in, pay yourself back for a couple days, and then refresh your entire system, not only physically and health-wise, but it also does a nice cleanse mentally and emotionally for you as well. So there's plenty of time for you to jump in with us. I have a great group of women and men who will be doing it with us next week as well, so you won't be alone. I give you a full plan and everything that you need to do to get started, and I walk the journey with you. I do it every day with you for the 3 days so that you're not alone, and I will offer you support and some suggestions to get you started. Feel free to message me down below, and as always, if you feel more comfortable emailing me, you can do that at Dyann, that's DYANN, at parhamfitness.com. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. Have a great rest of your day.